I'm going to tell you something right now. You are officially an astronaut.
Thank you so much.
How do you feel?
I feel super connected to love.
Whoever came up with this title, give this guy a freaking raise. Tell me how this is not awesome. Astronaut.
I understand that it started a lot of conversations, and he was one of many collaborators that I collaborated with.
And think about how many resources went into putting these women into space. For what? I'm disgusted, literally.
Just when Katy Perry thought she could finally leave the Blue Origin drama behind, The Simpsons came swinging. And babe, they didn't just throw shade, they basically launched it into orbit.
Astronaut conspiracy theories swirl about Katy Perry's fake Blue Origin space mission.
Someone went to space for like 4 minutes. What is she kissing the ground for? Pointing up at the sky.
Katy! Woo!
And to the guy, woo, Katy, yeah. Dumb, bro.
Katy's historic all-female spaceflight was supposed to be this empowering, headline-grabbing moment. She called it a dream, a celebration of women pushing boundaries. But leave it to The Simpsons to turn that dream into a cartoonish nightmare.
Just show the legendary landing real quick, Rob. This is such a beautiful moment. This may be greater than us landing. Look at it. Look at the way it lands to the ground. None of them break their backs. Look at this. Watch. Wow.
Southwest Airlines lands just like that. See,
it's a freaking music. It's awesome. Right? Gladiator type. Oh, excellent. Look at that.
my back would have been shattered.
You see it? How sick is that? Like, just like, it's motivating.
In a now viral episode, the show introduced a character that wasn't even trying to hide it. A blonde pop diva, dressed head to toe in sparkly space gear, taking selfies while floating in zero gravity, bragging about her historic journey to a spaceship full of bored billionaires.
I'm going to tell you something right now. You are officially an astronaut.
Thank you so much.
How do you feel?
I feel super connected to love.
This is so tough.
The kicker: the fake Katy's ship was covered in fast fashion logos and girl boss slogans. And when she lands, instead of cheers, she's greeted with flashing cameras and a giant, brutal banner. First woman to colonize Instagram from space. Babe, it wasn't just a dig, it was a full public dragging.
I'm going to tell you something right now. You are officially an astronaut.
Bro.
Not the cap.
Stupid.
Let me tell you right now, Katy, you're officially an astronaut.
I guess I'm a freaking brain surgeon then. I couldn't believe, wow. I can't believe she even said. How do you even format your lips to say something so stupid?
The second that episode aired, social media lit up. TikTok edits started flooding in. Side-by-sides of Katy's real Blue Origin flight next to the cartoon parody, memes captioned "Life imitates art," and reactions calling it the most savage Simpsons roast since they took down pop stars like Lady Gaga and Justin Bieber back in the day. Twitter was a full battlefield.
However, there's been some critics saying some stuff in it.
Really?
Rob, I don't know if you have any of the critic stuff or not. Do you have any of the stuff on how they open a door first and then they have to reopen the door and they have to say, go back in there, and then Jeff Bezos falls. Poor guy's tripping. He's having a hard time.
Some fans defended Katy, saying she was brave for following her dreams. Others, merciless. One viral tweet read, "It only took 11 minutes in space for Katy Perry to become a meme. Legend behavior, honestly." Another one said, "The Simpsons just said what we were all thinking. She paid $1 to be an influencer in space. And the worst part? Even news outlets started picking it up. Headlines reading things like, "Katy Perry's Space Odyssey becomes late-night joke fodder." Not the legacy she was hoping for, Queen.
Which one is this, Rob? Tell us.
This is the door being opened from the inside.
Watch this.
What's gonna come out of?
So they're not supposed to.
Oh God! Close the door.
No, not yet.
Jeff Bezos out there right by the capsule. Kind of hard to see. That is. I have to claim that he's Jeff Bezos or.
No, he has to step up with the official.
Now, you know Katy isn't the type to stay silent when someone clowns her, especially not a pop culture titan like The Simpsons. And true to form, she didn't hold back. According to sources close to her team, Katy was fuming when she first saw the episode. Allegedly, she even called the parody cheap, outdated, and lazy. Ouch. She also took to Instagram with a not-so-subtle story. Funny how the loudest laughs come from the sidelines. See you when you've been to space. No name drop, no direct clapback. But babe, the shade was suffocating. And during her latest tour stop, right before launching into Firework, she threw a little extra jab on stage. This song's for anyone who's ever been mocked for dreaming bigger than the trolls. Crowd went wild. The internet? Divided. Some praised her for staying classy and shading back in true diva form. Others said it made her seem pressed and out of touch, like she couldn't handle the jokes. And honestly, it's a little bit of both.
Wait, I gotcha. Oh, the moon. You guys, I have to tell you, look at the moon.
Doing a whole bunch of nothing, didn't I?
Just watching her.
Look, I brought my little butterfly.
Here's the tea. No one wants to say out loud. Katy's spaceflight was already controversial. Critics called it a tone-deaf stunt. Environmentalists slammed it for being wasteful. Influencers mocked it as faux feminism. Now, with The Simpsons, giving it the ultimate pop culture clown treatment, babe, it risks becoming her new defining meme. Every big star has that one moment that follows them. Britney had the umbrella, Madonna had the cape fall, Fergie had the national anthem, and now Katy, she might have the 11-minute influencer spaceflight. The real question now isn't if Katy can survive the backlash. She's a pop queen. She always bounces back. The real question is, how long will this meme stick to her image before she gets a chance to rewrite the narrative? Because once The Simpsons makes you a punchline, babe, you're immortalized.
Rob, what else you got? Because there's a bunch of them.
I have Gayle King claiming that it was sexist.
Go ahead and play this clip. Go ahead, Rob.
I don't like that people are calling it a ride. A ride, you never see a male astronaut who's going up in space and they said, oh, he took a ride. We actually duplicated the route that Alan Shepard did. That's why it's called, this particular capsule is called the New Shepard. We duplicated that route. No one said he took that ride.
Yeah.
It's always referred to as a flight or a journey. So I feel that that's a little disrespectful to what the mission was and what the work that Blue Origin does.
Was. They went on a
space technology.
Babe, Katy's fan base and the Katy Cats are usually a ride or die kind of army. They've defended her through album flops, shady interviews, outfit scandals, you name it. But this situation, it's different. Because while some fans are screaming, "Oh, queen behavior," for Katy clapping back, a lot of longtime supporters are starting to admit this space stunt might have been a misstep. A few fan accounts even deleted their initial Blue Origin celebratory posts after the Simpsons episode aired. Yikes.TikTok is flooded with two kinds of videos right now. Edits hyping Katy as an unbothered space queen, using her shade-filled Instagram story and stage quotes. And brutal meme comps dragging her flight as the 11-minute ego trip that shook the internet. Even the comments under Katy's latest posts are a battlefield. Some are posting rocket emojis and go-off queen energy. Others, straight up dragging her with Simpsons quotes and mocking gifs. The vibe, chaotic, divided, unstable. This is the kind of fandom drama that doesn't just fizzle out. It either erodes loyalty slowly or sparks an unexpected PR comeback. Katy's walking a tightrope, and babe, it's looking very wobbly.
What is when there's people starving in other countries and we're clapping and cheering. Bro, this is wild. And then Katy Perry steps out, starts kissing the ground. Bro, the stories write themselves. Like, we are living in a Black Mirror episode. Like, what is this, bro? Yeah.
Now here's the part nobody's talking about yet. Because it's messy, insiders are spilling that Blue Origin is not loving this attention. At first, they thought Katy's flight would bring positive buzz and inspire a younger generation to support space innovation. You know, girl boss empowerment energy mixed with billionaire dreams. Cute in theory, disastrous in reality. After The Simpsons turned it into a global joke, Blue Origin allegedly went into full crisis PR mode. Sources close to the company say internal emails were fired off about controlling the narrative and focusing on the scientific aspects over celebrity coverage. Translation, they're realizing they accidentally created a space mission meme instead of a movement. And babe, here's the real kicker. Some insiders are low-key blaming Katy's team for overhyping the mission in the first place. Ouch. Imagine spending millions to send pop royalty into orbit only to become a punchline on national TV. Couldn't be me.
Look, I understand that it started a lot of conversations, And he was one of many collaborators that I collaborated with.
Meanwhile, Katy's inner circle isn't sitting around crying into their glittery microphones, babe. Sources say they're in full war room mode, planning how to flip this disaster into a redemption arc before it defines Katy's 2025 comeback. Here's what's allegedly on the table. Dropping a new single that subtly references the space drama because you know Katy loves a clapback anthem. Booking major interviews where she can control the narrative and frame herself as misunderstood, and bold, not selfish. Leaning into humor. Possibly collaborating with late-night hosts to roast herself before the public does it even harder. Think. The way celebrities do mean tweets and end up flipping public opinion, they know they can't erase the meme. They know they can't undo the roast. But what they can do? Own it. Amplify it, and turn it into a moment. Because babe, in 2025, you don't survive scandal by hiding. You survive by becoming the meme before it eats you alive.
There. Look, I got your board. I got your link.
Here's the tea that casual fans don't get. This isn't just about one cartoon episode. It's about Katy's image, and whether she can evolve fast enough to stay culturally relevant. Pop queens don't stay queens by repeating old tricks. They stay queens by reading the room and adapting to it. If Katy keeps pushing the paunch her space girl narrative without reading how cold the public reaction is, babe, she's gonna fade harder than a bad TikTok trend. But if she pivots fast, laughs at herself, gives us a bop, reclaims the joke, she could ride the chaos back to the top. The next moves Katy makes are critical, not just for her Blue Origin legacy, but for whether Gen Z, and even her own Katy cats, stay on her side for the next era, because once the memes control the narrative, it's almost impossible to take the throne back.
And think about how many resources went into putting these women into space. For what? I'm disgusted, literally.
Here's the thing, babe. When The Simpsons roasts you, it's not just another meme. It becomes part of your story whether you like it or not. It sticks like glitter you can't scrub off. From Lady Gaga to Elon Musk, everyone who's been turned into a Springfield caricature has had to live with that version of themselves forever floating around pop culture. And now, Katy Perry joins that very exclusive and very unfortunate club, because no matter how many empowering speeches Katy gives or how many cute space posts she shares, a huge chunk of the internet is always going to remember her as that cartoonish space diva floating around, taking selfies and crashing back down to Earth in a cloud of hashtags and sponsored logos. That's the thing about The Simpsons. They don't just mock a moment, they freeze it in time. And for Katy, that means her Blue Origin trip, which was supposed to be her ultimate girl boss move, is now permanently stamped as that time a pop star made space travel look like a thirst trap. No PR campaign can erase that. No Instagram story can outshine it. The roast lives on. And babe, it's gonna follow her a lot longer than her 11 minutes in space. If Katy thought she could ride out the storm quietly, The Simpsons made sure that option disappeared into thin air. Almost immediately after the episode aired, major media outlets weren't talking about her historic achievement anymore. They were talking about the roast. Headlines like Katy Perry's Space Odyssey turned into satire, and Katy Perry's space mission becomes a cartoon punchline started popping up everywhere. News shows played clips side by side with her real Blue Origin footage. TikTokers began stitching memes to her interviews. It wasn't just social media trolls anymore. The serious media was laughing too. And here's why that matters, babe. Once the press frames you as a joke, it's almost impossible to take the narrative back. Every future interview Katy does about dreams, empowerment, or reaching for the stars is going to be met with a side eye from people who only remember her as the girl who paid $1 million to float around in zero gravity for a couple of Instagram posts. Instead of inspiring awe, her name is starting to inspire giggles. Instead of being framed as bold, she's being painted as out of touch. That shift, it's deadly. It doesn't destroy you overnight. It slowly chips away at your credibility, until even your fans have a hard time defending you. And babe, Katy's right on the edge. Now, let's get into the even messier tea, because not everyone in the pop industry is sad about this. Some of Katy's quiet rivals are thriving watching her get dragged. You think other pop girls and their PR teams aren't loving the fact that Katy Perry is trending for a parody instead of a hit single? Babe, please. Behind the scenes, managers and publicists are breathing sighs of relief that they don't have to compete with Katy dominating headlines this summer. Some insiders are even whispering that certain pop teams are already recalibrating their rollout schedules now that Katy's moment fizzled into a meme faster than her rocket shot into space. There's no need to shade her directly. the memes. And news coverage are doing the work perfectly. It's cold, but it's Hollywood. One queen's bad headline is another's open runway. So what does this all mean for Katy? Can she recover from being the Simpsons' latest pop culture casualty? Babe, it's still possible, but only if she moves fast and smart. The worst thing she could do right now is try to get serious about the space flight again. People aren't looking for serious. They're looking for her to laugh at herself, to reclaim the joke, to drop a cheeky single referencing the memes, to hop on TikTok and post a funny skit about the whole thing. To own the narrative instead of trying to outrun it, because if Katy shows she can be self-aware, she wins back the public. People love a celebrity who can poke fun at their own drama, but if she tries to preach, explain, or defend, babe, it's only going to make the memes louder, harsher, and more brutal. Right now, Katy's legacy is standing at a crossroads. One path is self-deprecating queen behavior and a shot at a full pop comeback. The other, endless space diva memes and a slow fade into pop culture punchline status. It's not about space anymore, babe. It's about survival. And if Katy wants to stay in the pop royalty circle, she's got to stop fighting the meme and start riding it. Babe, the situation is crystal clear now. Katy Perry doesn't just need a cute post or a funny quote to survive this. She needs a full pivot. This isn't about defending her honor or explaining the deeper meaning of her trip anymore. It's about playing the game smarter than the trolls. Because when the internet turns you into a meme, you can't fight it with press releases. You have to flip it into your power move. If Katy takes the L gracefully, laughs along with the jokes, maybe even references the parody herself in a music video or a performance, she can absolutely reclaim the conversation. She can turn herself from the butt of the joke into the boss of it. And honestly, fans love a celebrity who can make fun of themselves and still serve looks, hits, and energy. It's how legends survive. But babe, if she leans into the "I'm misunderstood, you just don't get it" victim narrative, she risks sounding whiny, and nothing kills a pop star's magic faster than looking pressed over a cartoon. In this era, self-awareness isn't optional. It's everything. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, Blue Origin is in full damage control mode too. They were hoping Katy's trip would be good PR, a flashy crossover between science, celebrity, and female empowerment. Instead, they got headlines about memes, vanity trips, and corporate cringe. Not exactly the inspiring narrative they were banking on. Sources say that Blue Origin is already moving to reframe the mission. They're allegedly pushing out quieter, more technical content about the scientific side of the trip, hoping to shift public attention away from the celebrity spectacle and back toward innovation and research. They're basically trying to pretend the Katy media circus never happened, while still cashing in on the first all-female flight bragging rights. It's cold, but it's classic damage control. Push forward, minimize the scandal, and hope the next news cycle washes the bad taste out of everyone's mouths. Don't expect them to distance from Katy publicly. That would create even more headlines. Instead, they'll just drown her story in 100 new missions and wait for the memes to burn out on their own. Ruthless? Maybe. Effective? Definitely. Here's where it gets bigger than just Katy. Every pop star, influencer, and public figure watching this mess unfold is taking notes, loud ones. Because what Katy's learning the hard way is that the public doesn't just want empowerment slogans anymore. They want authenticity. They want relatability. They want realness, especially when you're stepping into spaces, literally in this case, that used to be about innovation, not influence. When audiences sense that something's more about flexing than inspiring, they're brutal. They won't just ignore you, they'll roast you for it. And thanks to TikTok, Twitter, and shows like The Simpsons, that roasting now gets frozen in pop culture history faster than ever before. So every other pop star plotting their powerful brand moment right now, babe, they're triple checking their plans, because nobody wants to be the next Katy in space meme. Not after this. At the start of this whole saga, Katy Perry's Blue Origin flight was supposed to be her hero moment, her way of showing the world that dreams, ambition, and girl power could literally reach the stars. It was supposed to be a fairy tale, ending to her decades-long pop reign. Instead, it became a PR firestorm she couldn't control, a parody she couldn't stop, a meme she now has to live with. Katy still has a chance to write a new chapter, to turn the mockery into momentum. But that window is closing fast, and if she doesn't seize it, this won't just be a rough patch in her career. It'll be the moment that defined the end of an era. Because in today's pop culture kingdom, it's not the critics who dethrone you, it's the memes. And babe, once The Simpsons hands you the crown of cringe, it's almost impossible to take it off. So, what do you think, Queen? Was Katy brave for chasing her space dreams, or out of touch for trying to turn them into a PR moment? Can she still bounce back? Or has the internet already written her new legacy for her? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell so you're the first to hear the next celebrity meltdown, PR disaster, or unexpected redemption arc. Because in the new Hollywood, it's not the stars who tell the story anymore, it's the memes.